everybody. Hello, what's going on? How you doing? This is Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. It's out now. Yeah, this is a game that has been recommended to me for quite some time. At least the I guess the other ones I should say, because this is a trilogy after all. There's like 3 different games in this trilogy altogether. This has been released, I think, a couple of days ago. Now, hang on a sec. Is the music good? We good? How's everybody doing? How you doing, everyone? It's bumping, and I'm feeling the energy coming from this game right off the bat here, and I'm really liking it, actually. So let me just have this moment. All right, let me have this moment. My lord, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? What's going on? Yeah. So, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. We will be diving into the courtroom today, and it will be something spectacular, hopefully. Now, for some that have been, or some that are fans of Apollo Justice, I apologize in advance, only because I myself have no, how would you say this? I don't know a lot about it, right? And I will be going into this mostly completely blind. It will be a genuine reaction on everything in this universe, and there could be some ways, and there probably will be some ways, and I apologize in advance of me mispronouncing a lot of things and maybe not understanding this or that, but we're gonna work as a team together in the live stream, and we're gonna try to figure out these cases. Other than that, if you enjoy this, please make sure to hit the like button and all that, and if you're new, absolutely consider subscribing, because it is completely free indeed. Yeah, so we're gonna be playing this today. You can add it to your wish list on Steam. I think it's on all consoles, I believe. So yeah, it's going for $49.99 USD. And the thing about this game is that even at $49.99 USD, you're also getting 3 games out of it. So just think about that. Yeah, it should be fun. We should be having a good time today. How's it going, everyone? Welcome everybody in chat. Good to see you. Welcome if you're tuning in on YouTube. If you're tuning in on Twitch, welcome in. It's a pleasure and honor to be with you today. Hello, Maggie May. Hello, Susie T. Hello, Spork. Hello, Jade. What's going on? Hello, Shante. Hello, Sahas Lynn. How are you? Hello, Tom Crabtree. Hello, Caldy Gas. How's it going? Hello from the UK. Shout out to the UK. Hello, Scuba Steve. Welcome in. Welcome in indeed. Keely, how you doing? What's going on? Dark Links. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in as well. Alicia, hello Alicia. Hello Masumi, welcome in. Yes, hello Maya J. Jenny, hello Jenny. I hope you and Danielle are having an amazing day. Lots of love from New York. Well, shout out to New York there, Jenny. How are you? Hello Faith Angel, welcome in. Hello Esther, how you doing, Esther? What's happening? Zoe Ann, how are you? Good to see you, Zoe Ann. Always watch on YouTube, but thought I'd pop on here instead. Oh, very well. Okay, switching it up, Zoe. I see you. Hello Carbonated Crouton. Hello Summer Sunshine. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Yes. Yeah, welcome in. Hello, Yeah Gaming. Good. Yes. Arturo. Hello, Arturo. Welcome in. Anna Maria. Hello. Cinder Foxy. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. Game Station. Did I say hello to Game Station? Ermac. Hello, Ermac. Good to see you. Welcome in. And everybody lurking, smirking, and possibly working on this Thursday. Hello to you. Yeah, so I will be going in. Hello, Moon Bunny. How are you? I will be going into this completely blind. I'm going to enjoy the game as it is presented, as if I was a first-time buyer, first-time looker. Yeah, very casual, scrolling through the game library of stores and stuff like that, whether it's Steam, wherever we're at. I will be looking, and I will be joining into this universe as is. Yeah, so I want the game to kind of present it to me, right? I want them to present this game to me, and I want to be able to have that feeling where you can just pick up and go kind of thing, right? Set background music, you can actually do that. So this is the difference here. You can actually switch between the games, I think. So you have Ace, and you can, the cool thing about this game is that also you can like pick up any episode, so to speak, episode, scenario, wherever you left off, and maybe you can, you know, think about redoing that episode or scenario if you choose to. But yeah, there is, let's see here, we'll go through all of these real quick. This is a museum, may contain spoilers, let's not do that. So there is a museum to this game too. So we have Ace Apollo, we have the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, which is going to be where we're going to start off. Then you also get in this package the Dual Destinies, and then eventually you also get the Spirit of Justice as well. But yeah, there is a museum, things that you can do in this game. Whether you know, you can listen to the music, look at the art, animation studio. You can actually do some things with like pieces and things like that. It's kind of cool. I've seen a little bit of a snippet of it, and then the alkalanes as well. But we're gonna go ahead and just dive right on into it, and we're gonna dive into yeah, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney right off the gate, and hit me with the episode 1. Yeah, it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a good one. Hello Swiftly, how are you? I can't wait. I'm very interested to see how this all kind of plays out. So I'm very yeah, I'm ready for it, dude. I think I am. I don't know, are we ready for it? New game. All right. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to like go, you know, this is the courtroom and everything. I don't know how difficult can it be? Turn about Trump. What? I'm scared. Everybody's saying get ready. I'm sorry, did he just die playing poker? Objection, Your Honor. Guilty, that is all. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Oh, it's auto scroll. Dead. Someone hit him hard. Oh, me? Please, the cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that? All right. So, yeah, just a bad night playing poker equals death. April 24/20, 9:37 a.m. District Court. Now, it's kind of interesting that they're using AM PM. I don't know. Is that just a me thing? Defendant lobby number 3. Okay. Apollo panic, palms sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Okay. Good morning. Who just said good morning? Oh. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No. I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. Right off the bat. First trial is a homicide. Right, okay. All right. I guess justice doesn't start small, huh? No. I'm fine, all right? I got up at 5 a.m. to do my chords of steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. I overdid it again. It's a murder case right off the bat, yeah? As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Oh, all right. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over the drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes. I'm fine, sir. Why do we keep saying we're fine? It's fine, Apollo. Just chill out. Calm down. It's fine. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. All right. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney, and today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything, but the defendant has been accused of, well, murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Is that the client? Ah! Good, morning? Morning? It's all up to you today. First trial. Nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. What? Okay. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So you're, fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Ah, right. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start now, aren't we? Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend, so why? Well, you'll see. You can do it. Be confident. Okay. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, it's time. Shall we? Yes. This is interesting. So, Apollo is, like, obviously very new. He obviously is, like, not only is he new, but let's be honest, does he even know what the hell he's doing? Right. Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. Yeah, we'll see about that, Apollo. April 2420 at 10 a.m. in the district courtroom of number 2. Oh my lord, it's loud. Order. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Ah, that's Apollo right there. The defense is fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank? Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice, was it? And this is your first trial. Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really, I am. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust this case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have cords of steel? Objection. No, I'm just kidding. Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. All right, here we go. He's fine, everybody. He's fine. Very well. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright. How could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne says, to think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Okay. Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. Very well. Right. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head. Smack. Just like that. Killed him out cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was the pianist from the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright. A pianist? This is the weapon. Oh my gosh. That took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Is that what the kids are calling it? A bottle of grape juice. Is that a bottle of wine? The question is, are you fine, Cans? I'm fine. I'm so fine. I'm so fine that I can hear myself echoing and getting better. But yes, I'm fine. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Well, that's good, I guess. Hello, Luciana. How are you? Hello, Kathleen. Very well. So the deadly bottle, grape juice bottle used as a murder weapon, bears the defendant Mr. Wright's print. Deadly bottle added to the court record. There's a okay. So there's a picture, envelope, and whatever the heck that is with that now. All right. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right. I've heard of that. Use E to look at the evidence so far. All right. Very well. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right. Just use E. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So the victim was a customer at the restaurant. All right. But just who was the Shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. a traveler. According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to his country recently, though his place of residence is still unclear. And he has some sort of connection with the defendant. Well, that, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why would he get murdered? Perhaps the victim has slighted the defendant's piano playing. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. Oh, right. Oh, slumped. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Obviously, a deadly poker with a bottle of grape juice or wine, whatever you want to call it. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? Oh, God. Was it going to be like illegal? If one illegal does another illegal, it's fine. It cancels each other out. If you're doing something illegal and doing something illegal, then it doesn't matter. No. Okay, here we go. That's a crime in itself. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. Okay, so how dare you gamble, first and foremost. Let's ignore the murder, but yeah. Objection! Objection, Your Honor. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it is only that a game, in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. Ah, a competition. Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, the backs, wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again? The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. And impress women, of course. That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Objection? No. I'm just kidding. Every time I see that, I'm going to say objection. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. Of course. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Honestly, I'm terrified. Yeah. Witness testimony coming in. The competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. Okay, this is where we have to like, yeah, see the top up there, testimony? We have to like really zone in here. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. Okay. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. Can we look at the court record, please? Before we continue with this testifying? This is the attorney's badge. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Smith's autopsy report. The time of the death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Right. Good representation here. Crime photo 1. The sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. And then the grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon. Bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. All right. And we know now. Oh, wait, details? What the frick is this, dude? Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently, it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. Oh, this is wonderful, dude. Oh, you can actually like interact with the objects. This is too cool. Oh, I love this. I love this a lot. The bottle is completely empty. All right, very well. All right. Sorry, I got lost in the sauce there. By the way, thank you, Queen, for the hydration. Cheers to you. Hello. Do 2 wrongs make a Phoenix Wright? I feel like we need to look at some of this, yeah? Victim's name, Shaddy Smith. Age, question mark. Estimated time of death. Yeah. Cause of death. Yeah. Blunt trauma. No clues? Okay, well, there's no clues on this because this is my freaking badge of honor. All right. Continue with the testimony. My bad. Sorry, sir. Okay, so the room where we play in the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy. Okay. Right. A pianist who can't play a piano. Is that what you're saying? Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. All right. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination now. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you all right? You're sweating bullets over there. Bullets? Where? No. It's just a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. What the frick? You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, but you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? Yeah, actually, let's do that. What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in the cross-examination? Yes. Better safe than sorry, especially this early in the game. The game? How does he know we're in a game? Is this a game to him? Yeah? Yes, teach me. I know nothing. Indeed, your job, Justice, is to be mindful of the court record and the testimony. Look for inconsistencies in the testimony with what the court record tells you. When you found an inconsistency, that's when you present the conflicting evidence from the court record with E. But I didn't hear anything strange at all in the testimony just now. A good sign that you need to press the witness with Q for more information. Oh, we get to press them. All right. Press. Don't let the fact that he's a remarkable man hold you back. Get more information. But isn't Mr. Wright my client? Well, think you can do it, yeah? Yes. Well, thank you, sir. All right. Well, that was weird how I said that. I think I can do it. Well, I think you can do better. Or I think you'd better. You better, or we're going to have a problem. Right. Thank you, Christoph. Just remember, find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies. Very well. Lies. Phoenix Wright. Are we a wait, hang on a sec. We're a defense attorney. I just realized, right? Wait, are we a prosecutor? Holy shit. We're in the middle of the courtroom and we don't know what the hell we are. Are we a prosecutor or are we a defense attorney? Hello? Can I get a confirmation on that in chat real quick? Timeout. As if Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. I am the defense attorney? Okay. The defense may begin the cross-examination. All right, very well. Cross-examination. The competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. Yeah, that's a problem. Let me press you on that. Hold it! Hold it! You can hardly play. Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Is that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear from the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. I mean, it's true. I don't think I really have anything. I don't have any evidence to I mean, there's nothing really we can say like, oh yeah. Can we go back? Should we press them on everything? Your real job is to take interesting customers over at the poker table. Yeah, that's fine. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attraction. Probably. I'll press them on everything and we'll see. Hold it! Hold it! They pay you just to play poker. That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hardworking member of society like me to imagine. Yes. I guess we'll just do. Just press everything, I guess, yeah? Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? I've played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost. Not once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Oh, okay, I see. So he's like some sort of big deal, right? Hello, Moxie. How are you? Moxie, good to see you. Hope you are well. Moxie Raid. Oh, Moxie. Good to see you, Moxie. Hello, Doxy Mom. I love the name Doxy Mom. Good to see you. Hello, Robert. How you doing, Robert? They say hello to Spork. Hello, Spork. Hello, Soulwind Network. What's going on? Hello, Spin. Welcome in, everybody. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? No, it's not, actually. The room where we play in the competition in there are the club's main attraction. Let's press. Hold it! I'm gonna hold it. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction. It has quite a history, actually. The Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Wow, you are really talking way too much in court. Black market, all in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. Oh, right there where you never lose. A smoky room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be a good for keeping a lookout, but little else. Tiny little window there, yeah. The room had a few other tricks to it. All right. Though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean, fun. All right. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. I'm gonna press too hard. Hold it! Hello, Rebecca. How are you? Good to see you, Rebecca. 2 decks of cards. A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. It's true. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. Red. 1 deck of the cards is red. 1 is blue. As I recall, in poker, you make 5 card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes. A game of hands. Interesting. Interesting indeed. This competition you're talking about, I believe the courtroom understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. I guess I do. It was a simple game after that. Are you sure? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Okay, this judge is doing way too much for his job. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred, yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. Wait, what's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip. Don't despair yet, Justice, sir. Right. There's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Push. My biggest curiosity at this point is how the victim died from a blow to the forehead but is still wearing a hat in the photo. That's a wonderful, wonderful question. Great question. Hold it! Silence! The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law, but why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. Like I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Wait, something he said ring a little strangely. Justice, just one thing. Now, what was it? When you figure it out, I'll suggest presenting evidence that contradicts the testimony. A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony, but why? I'd better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press... Don't forget to press? Oh, right, press. Right! I got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again. I'm a pianist by trade, and I can hardly play at all. Hold it! Can hardly play. Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it, so I play them one song. Okay, so there's something here that we need to hit them with, right? I think it has to do with real job. The room we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. And I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. You didn't touch in my ass. I present you with this. Objection! Objection, Your Honor. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon. Ah, the grape juice bottle. Right. So I said. Is something the matter, Mr. Justice? Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. No need to shout, Mr. Justice. Justice, I can hear you. Just fine. Objection, apparently. Why are we objecting everything? Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove. Someone just objected. Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted. And there can be only one reason for that. Because he was smacking somebody in it. Yeah! Yeah. To brain someone with a bottle. To brain someone with a bottle? Interesting way of saying that. Ah! Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Believe it or not. Oh, I see. No problem, Justice. Huh. The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you now? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, of course, Mr. Wright. But still, that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from there near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene. Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? Oh, my lord. The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from the ground level. Don't say ground level and use... Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in the hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is the phone that made the call. Wright's cell phone added to the court record. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime, if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So, someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up to now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? I am not ready. Objection. Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Oh, crap. Oh, who's this? Who's this lady? The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? Oh, she hiding. What the heck is she doing with the plate in her hand? I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense demonic looking horns. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. Are you sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure, it is okay. All right, here we go. Who is she? She has mittens on and a... What the heck is the plate? Now, the prosecution... What the... wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witnesses? Paraphernalia? Paraphernalia? Yeah. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be... my name is Olga Orley. Hello, Olga. I'm employed as a waitress in the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming the rest. Did she take a picture of the crime? No, there's no way she took a picture of the crime scene. You're out of your mind. But I also perform, how's it said? Other service? Oh. I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures? Like for example, this one. Oh. That's the defendant. Indeed. On the night of the murder, man in white hat is one who has gone kaput. Indeed. That is the victim. Did he get poisoned? Order. No, he has a blow to the head, right? Trauma. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is the same way as I drop cold bowls or borscht on laps of customers, casually. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. The defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club. Olga's photo added to the court record. Now, witness. Where are you at the time of this murder? I was in room. The hideout, we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is a room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. It is room where murder took place. What? Picture. Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Ta-da. Photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, J.D. Smith, Olga Orley, our witness, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Objection. Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about the night's events. Let's do it. This is cool, dude. I'm digging it. I'm digging it, dude. I'm having a good time. The fateful night testimony. What do you have to possibly say with your... That night, customers asked me to deal cards for the game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Da. Now she's Russian. I think that's why she keeps saying da, yeah? The victim, he plays whole time with his hands on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Da. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Oh, wait, what? Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. Objection, Your Honor. That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Okay, Apollo, you need to calm down. Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose the case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Oh, all right. Very well. These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime. Okay, let's look at this. The poker chips. Now, I would have to say he did win. Actually, maybe he didn't win. Maybe he did win? I don't know. The hand and chips on the side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. And those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? Duh. I mean, yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army. The chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. And you're over here complaining about how it's illegal. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table, which is true. Right? Chips photo added to the courtroom or court record. Defendant and victim's chips when crime took place. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witnesses now. All right, I'm gonna look at these items first. You are wearing too much clothes, first and foremost. Okay. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. Hold it. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? I'm doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. Thanks for the picture. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to the Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses. What? Excuse me? Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Press. Hold it! It's already April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on an authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside, it is a city in spring, but inside, it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. True. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Hold it! Hold it? His locket? I believe it was good luck charm, you know what? Hang on a sec. Can we look at something real quick? Yes, let's look at this. No clues here? That's fine. Oh, it's a band-aid. Wow, the battery is being held with a piece of tape. He should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care. Oh, right. Nothing of serious there. Very well. Okay, all right. Let's look at this one too. Is there anything that's catching my eye here? It looks like there's snow inside of the freaking building. Is there snow inside the building? Bunch of grape juice. This man's wearing sandals in Mother Russia. There's the locket around his neck. Okay. One more time. Okay. Continue. He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and to the stars. though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about, yeah? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket. Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding. Da-dum-tsh. Hello, Steven. How's it going? Card on the floor. Someone was cheating. I saw the card on the floor. I saw the card on the floor, and I saw a card in the bottom left corner, too. I think I might have been blocking it. But yes, there was a card on the floor. But that's true. Why would there be a card on the floor before the confrontation? So, what happened next? Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, Hold it! Hold it! Something terrible. The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear. That man flew at a victim and is strangling him to death. Hold it. Hold it! But the defendant would never do such a thing. Well, now, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic. If possible, please, refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker? Perhaps it is because defendant has lost game. Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it was always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how they might fall. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, then I've got you now, Orley. Yes. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. Oh crap, go back to that. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Hang on a sec, go back to that. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for the game. You cheated, didn't you? You cheated for him, maybe? Hold it. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? Yeah, I'm doing this. Is she working with, maybe she's working with Mr. Wright. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht cards, more borscht. Wait a sec. We've done that. Never mind. We've done that. Never mind. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We've already done that. Can I have that? I want to have that. Okay. Let me see here. We have cold. Victim plays the whole time with his hand on the locket at his neck. Last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. The man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. We can present evidence against that, can't we? And say that's a bunch of BS, right? Because the time of the death was around death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Yeah, we could do this. Can we present that? Objection! Objection, Your Honor. She says strangulation, and I say BS. Really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Ah! Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Ah! Wow, that was impressive. Yes, mutter. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Ah! Very true. Yet, it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Oh. Ah. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. Photo of forehead, hat removed during investigation. So he was hit in the forehead. But I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at the victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue to cross-examination, yeah? There's such a thing as thinking too much, isn't there? This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too, alright? There's something else here that she is also talking about. Both men were wearing hats. It's cold. Okay, let's see. Customer asked me to deal cards for the game. It was cold. They both had hats on. The victim he plays the whole time with his hand on the locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Wait a sec. I wonder... It's gone. The locket's gone! He plays the whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Yeah. I think this is the evidence. Objection! Objection? You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony. The victim played with his hand on the locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Then taken it off. Wait, you don't mean the defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all? He was taking it off his neck, off his locket. Wouldn't that explain? Oh. Was he getting robbed? Everyone quiet down. Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say. Yes? I just noticed this. But, you have something... Wait, he has a locket around his neck. I didn't notice that from before. You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? You idiot. You mean this? Yes, it's a locket. Oh, God. With a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Ah, come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter. We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too. Why do I buy that? What, everyone has a locket? Buy that this is just a coincidence. Oh my lord. Come on. Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly. Miss Orley, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant, yeah? Duh. Wow. Witness's testimony. Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 point in chips for each man. Okay? House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was the victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... Indeed. Looking at this picture, hang on a sec. She said big chips were worth more, right? Or was it small chips that were worth more? It does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. How many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and I now regret it. A common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Interesting. I think the red chips were the largest amount, so the victim was losing. That's right, that's right. Hello, Lady Fluffy Dragon. Hello, Tabby. Hello, Shenanigans. Hello, Waffle. The game began with 3,500 each. Okay. Press. Hold it! Hold it. Are those the usual starting points? Where any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game. Usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, then that would be, exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Interesting. House chips come in 2 sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was the victim. No, I press you on that. Hold it! Hold it. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Yeah, press harder. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips. Explain? What is there to explain? What the frick? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block. Not a motorcycle cop. Not a... Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars, rubles, or even Nayat? As I have been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. 2 types of chips, 100 points and 1,000 chips. It's not money. Justice, sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add to her testimony? Add. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honor. Okay. One kind of chip is worth 100 points. Other kind is worth 1,000. 2 kinds in all. It's a small one, isn't it? The small one's worth a lot. That's what it is, right? Can I press you on that? Hold it! Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice, do the court have a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand? We are not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. I better think of something to ask. And quick. The 2 types of chips. The small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1,000? Right. Of course. Okay. Don't waste our time. Is that all? Yeah. Great. Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice, please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? Who? Me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten, after all. Calculation? Wait a sec. We would press, well, I mean, there's more than 7,000 on the table. That's what it is, huh? I guess even if it did matter, we don't know the worth of it, right? We don't know what, well, I don't know. If the big ones are worth, if the big ones are worth 1,000 and the small ones are worth 100, or vice versa, right? Black is 1,000, red is 100. How do we know that? What if it's the other way around? If it's that way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'd be 10,000 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would be 600 points. So it'd be 10,600 points on the table, yeah? Yeah. Big are 100, red is 1,000. Only way the math works out. Okay, so big is worth 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So the reds are 1,000. The blacks are 100s. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go back. Okay. The one who was winning, it was the victim. No. Wait a sec, hang on. The game began with 3,500 points, so there's 7,000 altogether. For the last hand, defendant play with all chips on the table and lose. Moment lost was decided, defendant grabs. Okay. I think we do this one, right? The one who was winning, it was the victim. Not correct. Objection. You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. She objected. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten, well, just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course, duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? That's right. Let's review what the witnesses told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips were 7,000 points. Yes. If my calculations are correct, let's see. 3 plus 1 carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo. Allegedly shows all the chips. Yeah! If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Starting points were wrong. Chip count was wrong. Both were right. What? Chip count was wrong? Both were right? Chip count was wrong. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. The chip count was wrong, right? The odd thing here is the number of chips. Right, Mr. Gavin. Why are you asking me? Just in case? Justice, it's your case I'm concerned about. If you're wondering about the chips, just look at the photograph. It's all there. Even our judge with his failing eyesight could count them. Starting was right. Both were right. Starting was wrong. That's not the only thing failing the judge. Let me ask you again. Right. Starting points were wrong. This calculation makes the answer clear. If the total combined points as the total was 10,600, then each man started the night with 5,300 points. 5,300. That's a rather half-baked score at which to start a game. Justice. Would different starting points really change anything? I guess not. It seems the defense objection is even more half-baked than the score. Oh, uh-oh. Time to head back to the kitchen. Right. There's only one way. They both were right. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in the photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what was it? The value of the chips was the only way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness, utter madness. Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Not really, but yeah. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. Sorry. But wait. The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger amount of chips, but still, the math doesn't add up, Judge. My lord, are you a judge? Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points and the defendant had 4,100 points. Well, now, seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible. My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? She's... wait, okay. There we go. Order. It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the... Oh, someone just said hold up. Excuse me, what is it, Miss Orley? I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, see what, Miss Orley? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was a cheat in the last hand. That's why game ends with chips as they are. So because of this down here, there's no way. There's no way it's that card. Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting, witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. All right. Witness testimony. The final hand. The last hand. Both men had full houses. There's 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hand, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Did I not see that? Miss Worley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover-up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make, in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin, what's a full house? Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker. I can't say this bodes well for your case or career. What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice, you know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. Well, 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. Right? Obviously. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, now does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. And now I'm looking at the hands. Unless... I don't see it. I don't see it. I see nothing. I see nothing. I see nothing. I see... I see legitimacy. That's what I see. I see nothing wrong. Nothing. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. Objection. Kings do beat sevens. It's legit. Well, that, yeah, that is. Yeah. There's an ace on the floor. No, that's a two of spade on the floor. The defense may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. I was looking for duplicates. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for duplicate suits. But I wasn't looking for like I wasn't looking at higher or lower. Mr. Wright lost his hand. That's true. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I was looking for duplicate suits. That's what I was looking for. The last hand, both men had full houses. Correct. There's a 4 of each card in the deck from ace to king. Yeah, that's correct. If you look at both men's hand, cheat is more obvious. If you look at their hand, the cheat is more obvious. Okay. The next moment, game becomes argumentative, and boom. He took bottle in his hand, and so on and so forth. I gotta see this. I gotta look at this. Oh yeah, there's a card behind my forehead. There's this. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. No idea. No idea. I mean, yeah. So, okay, the legitimacy is the victim won the hand. That's legit. What I'm trying to find is the cheat, if there is a cheat. Both men had full house. Correct. There's a 4 of each card in the deck from ace to king. That is correct. That's 7 of hearts. 8 of hearts. You really think it's that tiny little thing, yeah? Cheat is more obvious. Can we press her on that? Hold it. How was it clear? Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. What are you talking about? Huh? A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. I thought he had 3 kings. What? Obviously, cheating was a foot, or perhaps I should say a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Payne's joke. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. What? You're lying your ass off. There was 3 kings. Can we add this to the... She added to the testimony. Has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2... It's a 5 ace at all. No, it's absolutely not. Just look at the damn picture, lady. You're crazy. Objection, yeah. It appears the witness is mistaken, miss. Taken. But my name... Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips. Is it not? Is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. I will use my finger to point out my point. Thank you, Dog Meat, for subscribing. Hello. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. A particular point contradicts the witness's testimony. That's what, that. Take that! Take that, indeed. Miss Orley, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith has 3 aces, but as you can clearly see, the victim has only had 2 aces. Don't object me, I object you. Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Yeah. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's the 5th ace? I see cheating, all right. And it's going on right here in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces in total. Holy shit. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please. Is it true? I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. Thank you for following Starlets on Twitch. Hello, I see you. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin, who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards, Mr. Payne. Yes. The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the courtroom. Send it. Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? F. I would say the victim's hand is more suspicious because he drew 3 kings, 2 aces. Maybe? I think that's probably more suspicious. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. Yeah, that's true also. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's card. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. More evidence. Okay. Received evidence. Victim's hand. Now, it's going to go back to the whole blue-red deck, isn't it? Well, time's a-wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. Victim Smith's hand. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, let's do this. I bet you it's colored. Yeah, see? There you go. Aha! The victim is the bastard. What? Yeah. He cheated. Your Honor, look at this. Look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. It's very tough to just draw I mean, drawing a full house, 3 kings, 2 aces. Like the best hand of all time. That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Ah! Oh, that was terrible. Wait, all right. What was that, Miss Orley? No. I merely said, I have Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes. Tell me what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Ah, yes. Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss Orley, she's the cheater, a professional, I'd wager. Ah, good stuff, good stuff. Order. Focus. Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, of her mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. Let's do it. That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Oh. Wait, in Wright's hand? That's the defendant. That's not the victim. Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Not only did she cheat, She cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga, are you? Time for justice. Get him, Apollo! There were 3 people in the room at this time of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga, of murder. She did not catch the soup. Oh no, she caught it. Or I guess the stand caught it. Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga? It appears she has lost consciousness, your honor. Mr. Justice, your honor, it seems you've presented a new possibility to the court, one suggesting a connection between the witnesses and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. Yes. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Objection! Locket. Mr. Wright, you can't end the trial here, your honor. Not yet. Uh-oh. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think, one of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? But what are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Okay. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. All right. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The two decks of the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used different colors and they still got mixed. We used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about the blue cards. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Oh, shit. Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah. Thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course, it was swapped. Oh, it might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or might it not? I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? During the murder? No. What the hell? Before the murder. Well, it must have happened before the murder. You mean during the game? I wonder. Why? Think, when you're playing poker, which side of the cards face your opponent? The backs. The back. Not something the poker head of courtroom number 3 would be likely to miss. Sorry, let me think about this some more. When was the card swapped into the deck? Perhaps it happened after the murder. What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hand has been shown? That's silly. Objection! Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very impossible. Holy hell. Even when the backs of the cards are a different color, if you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card is in question, was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Wow. No, because there's cards on the ground. I don't know. There's cards on the ground. This is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another. Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witnesses, Olga. So who was it that swapped the red card? Don't tell me someone else did. I will lose my shit. Hello, focus on me. How are you? Hello, Brad. How's it going? Welcome in. Olga didn't. Why, it must have been Olga who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. That does make some sense. Yeah, that's why I did that. Sorry, but there's a problem with that explanation. Huh? The swap cards was from the wrong deck. Yes, a blue card was stuck into a red hand. Mixing a card from the wrong deck when the backs are different colors? Remember that you're talking about Olga. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? Actually, I have trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Right. I don't want to say someone else. I swear. I don't want to say someone else. Only because I'm just like, why? Right? It's either someone else or Phoenix. You want to see the thing again? This is when you'll see it again. So there's a card on the ground. Why would it be Phoenix? It's gonna have to be someone else, right? Phoenix, that doesn't make sense if Phoenix did it. Now, wouldn't it? It makes no sense. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orly either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orly at this point. Okay, all right. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? We already did that. Yeah, that's right. I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you like to share with the court. Really, Mr. Wright? You're the one that did it? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking about how much fun this is. Okay. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss Orly, then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murderer. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hands, and that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us the first was swapping the wrong color card, because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the 5th ace with a king. Right. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a 5th ace after all. All I knew was that the game had been won with a full house, so they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. There's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit, the possibility of a 4th person, though it's more than a possibility, there was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. Jesus. Really? Are you sure? I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials. Ridiculous, Mr. Wright. Hit that. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in the courtroom. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal the information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during the recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. Wow. What in the hell just happened? 4:20, 11:52 a.m. Defendant lobby, number 3. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that, I must ask, is it the truth? Well, now, I think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I've only asked that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph. Justice. Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me, will you? You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Oh. Oh. It is a picture of your daughter. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Valkyriel. Valkyriel. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, a lot of people are actually kind of affected after Christmas right now. Binging the King of Retail. Would play myself, but can't afford it. Back to episode 100. Oh, very good. 100. Holy crap. Good luck on that ride. That's a fun one. That is a fun one. That is a fun one. Indeed. Hello, Dark Dragon. How are you? I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest. But it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. It's true. Technically, you can bluff your ass off. You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Oh, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding, aren't you? That witnesses, for instance, Miss Orley. Oh. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No, I did not. Now, come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on those signals. No, you can do it. You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will soon. Almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. To be continued. Wow. 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 Save. Uh-huh. I need like a hair tie. That's what I need. I need to put my seatbelt on for my hair. Continue the next chapter? Yes. Courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Very well. Miss Olga Orley recovered, yeah? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness, of course. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. The witnesses will take the stand. Let's do it. Okay, watch her twitching, right? Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. She touches the back of her head. Oh! Name's Olga Orley. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers Orley. Wow. Your name is Quick Fingers? You must really enjoy yourself. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like, oh, really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Wow. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. Wow, okay. He swapped the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. He would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed, getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year-long legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Alright. Oh, really? Really? Oh, really? Really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake. I agree. The trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky. I'll give him that. You'd have to be this. You would have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers. Oh, really? Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. What did you just say? Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. Objection? When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Oh God, here we go. The best laid traps. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect, if that rotten cheater had messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony for what it's worth is all yours, Mr. Justice. Thank you for subscribing, Monica. Hello? With witnesses like that, like her, Who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? All right, very well. Okay. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. I don't think so.
Hold it!
Hold it? This planted card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers. I'm sorry. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. And Wright lost the hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. Let's press.
Hold
it! So everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. Tell us what happened with the search. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it.
Hold it!
Fingerprints? Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well, oh. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice. No, nothing, Your Honor. Just what to do? Should I press her a little harder? I shall. Oh, really? You're hiding something, aren't you? What are you talking about? You meddling kids and your dumb dog? Me. Quick fingers. Oh, really? The defense will refrain from baseless executions. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. You're lying. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Mr. Wright hit him. You're absolutely lying? I saw it when Wright hit him with my own eyes. I saw it. What's the weird vibe I'm getting? She's like lying, man. The witnesses, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Yeah, because she's a liar. Touching her neck, was it? That's right. There it is. She's a coward. Whoa, what's going on? The sensation, it's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before. Oh, perceive.
Gotcha!
Ooh. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before. That's cool. So we can perceive stuff. I'm for it. Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck. So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory. Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is searching her neck, or scratching her neck, whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what would you remind her most of the moment? What would you remind her most of the moment of the crime? This will really, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. Take that. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds more of the moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now, our only chance is to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very, very moment. Oh, you went back into your outfit. I am know nothing. What? Huh? What? We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. Fine. Very well. Cool. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there.
Hold it!
Press. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. What's next? Well, show us the evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that somewhere. The cell phone, right? The call?
Take that!
Ah! Oh, really? We have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made the phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. Yes. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Ah! She just selfied all over the place. Got you. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. It was you, wasn't it? Whoa. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright. And he hit me! You! Some master of cheating you turned out to be. Ah. I see. He was upset. So the victim was mad at Olga because the cheat failed. He grabbed the bottle. Or no, he hit her. And then Phoenix came to the aid of her, right? And took him out, I think. Is that how that is? When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If I came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, you could have just said. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Now, the only thing that doesn't make sense is where is the locket? Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir, I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive. Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement, the denouement of that argument was murder? What? I didn't. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. She does have high heels on, doesn't she? What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright, such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. Oh, what are you saying? Why not consider the other possibilities? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Oh my God, please don't. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess, a single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of the cards were being used. And a 4th person. With Siri again, your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. Real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What is that? Apollo. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about? What? Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here in our courtroom who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too. But why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear. Who is this 4th person? Why do I always get put into a spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Hello, Janik? Yannick? Janik? Hello, how are you? What's going on? Someone's colorblind? Boss at Gavin Law Office, a first-rate defense attorney and my trusted mentor. The prosecuting attorney, for all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. Definitely not the judge. I think it's Gavin.
Take that!
As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the 4th person that night. But of course, Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. You bastard. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game. In the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed with blue flame, known its final outcome, you bastard. Well, Christoph. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph, you know even I never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous. Beyond dumb. This is insanity.
Dan Kenia became a member.
Dan Kenia? Thank you for becoming a member. What's going on? How are you? Thank you for that. Good to see you. Hope you're well, yeah? Appreciate you. What's going on? Hello, Dan Kenia. Hello. Thank you for that. That was kind of you indeed. Hello. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder. I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection can Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Which... Wait a sec. There's a possibility, after all. They may have met the night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this truth, Mr. Wright? Was saying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. Yeah. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin, testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? God damn this poker trial. I'm not sure if I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Oh, really? Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? I guess. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court, please. Justice, you betray me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. This is insane, dude. Witness testimony. Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Okay. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Oh. You're doing great. This is one of your favorite game series. Oh, I love to hear that. I love to hear that indeed. Hello, Deborah. How are you? Or Debbie. How you doing, Debbie? You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. The truth will set you free. You were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder. I dined with him rather frequently, and he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder. Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth, as I did back then and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice, sir, he's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir? Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Interesting. Okay. So, let's see here. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph.
Hold it!
Press him. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin. Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So, the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left. Who dines for 2 hours? After that, Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left.
Hold it!
Pass him on that. 5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Excuse me? Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here, I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear that they just passed in the hall. That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all really what happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. No, let's go back to that. I want to press him on that. Hold it. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga O'Reilly mentioned. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. We'll see about that. You swap the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Alright. About that? Yes, a harmless prank, in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I funneled to discover it. A quirk? It happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it, and I found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? Here's an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice. The murder weapon? Oh, Lord. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in there. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be's deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. I shall. Oops. Okay. I don't see Jack-ish. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this bottle of wits. Please revise your testimony with the new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Yeah, guess what, sucker? There ain't nothing in there. So you lied.
Objection!
Objection. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes, I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in here. No? What? Mr. Wright, surely, isn't all you have to say for yourself? I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however... Perhaps a 5th person... No! No! Not a 5th person! Or... And a 6th person could have helped. No, no more persons. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation. We looked inside the bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? Oh, Lord. In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh, push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witnesses in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get a feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? I don't know. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. His head moves on certain things. Did we press him on this one? I can't remember. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police.
Hold it!
I can't remember if we did. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead. Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
Hold it!
Let's get him. The bottle's open on the table but closed in the pitcher. When you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. This is when I'm gonna send it. Okay. Yeah. Objection, Your Honor. He has an open bottle. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence in the statement just now related? They aren't, are they? Not at all. Mr. Justice, please think the facts over before making accusations. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Okay, right, all right. Very well, very well. Very well. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin.
Hold it!
Press him. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I had obviously gotten involved in a rather, oh my god, and I figured Christoph's law office would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Ah, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. This is the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about. Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now. Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has to be there somewhere. Let's look at the evidence. Did he say what time? Did he ever say what time the murder took place? That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Well, wait a sec. Technically, you guys didn't sit at the table. You're sitting at the piano. But if you're talking about that table in particular. Oh wait, that's Christoph, sorry. Shady walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead. Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. It's not a cut, right? Yeah, it's not a cut. It's trauma, it's not a laceration. It can't be a cut. Objection, Your Honor. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in the statement, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence statement just not related? They aren't. They are they? Oh, damn it. There's no cut. There's no cut. Time of death was 2 a.m. I mean, that's what I was thinking too. Only problem is I don't remember him saying anything about a time. I just don't know what time would do with it. Yeah. Injury not shown. Bottle has lid. And bottle has lid. Injury not shown. The trial would go quicker if the defendant didn't keep holding things back. Facts. That's exactly what the prosecutor said. He said, you would have walked away a long time ago. No. I bet you it has to do with this photo. Possibly, right? The bottle has no lid in the black and white photo. Oh. Okay, the black and white photo. Okay, yeah, that's good. Because this one, we did this one with no lid. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right, I see you. I didn't realize there was a bottle in the black and white one. Yeah. Yeah. Get smoked. Objection, Your Honor. He's full of shit. Just like this entire trial. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty here. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you. Oh. All right, never mind. Never mind. Okay. All right. Huh. Holy shit. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. We showed him that there was no card in the bottle. We already showed him that. We showed him that it was empty. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. I thought possibly trauma, not bleeding.
Objection!
This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence related? They aren't. They are. Ah! He's not bleeding in the photo. Oh, what the frick, man? We have one more hit left. Where's the card in the bottle? It is not there. Is it the black and white photo that shows no cut on the forehead? That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Who took the pic at the dinner table? Has to be really? Oh, really? Olga? Maybe the photo? Hey, Zapling, how are you? Someone removed the card at some point for it to not be in the bottle now. He has his hat on in the picture. Oh yeah. We press you again here.
Hold it!
We're gonna press you. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin. Yes, he dines with me at the Porsche Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at a usual spot as usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. Okay. Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner. Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Christoph. He dined 2 hours and Christoph left after that. Thank you for subscribing, OG Phoenix. Why was the victim unconscious when Wright left to call the cops? Discover the trapdoor in the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. I think we pressed him on that. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
Hold it!
Let's press him on that. And when you returned, the victim was already dead. Yes, I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little. He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. Okay. And then that's when I made another call, another phone call to the defense attorney. Let's press him on that one. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'm obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. Figured Christoph's law office would give me a friend rate. That's right, the friend rate. Glad to hear you intend to pay in full. I'm going to charge you more. Right. Interesting. Interesting. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? You know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now. I have to think, what's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with his testimony? The truth has to be there somewhere. By the way, thank you, Skinnier Steve, for subscribing too. This is a tough one, man. I'm starting to think we did it. Is there a time in the photo? There's like a clock. Gavin is sus? I agree. Where's the locket too? Why can't we talk about that again? I'm scared. Press him on the statement where he looks down. That's what I was thinking too, but I think we pressed him already on that a couple of times. Let's see here. This one. The girl knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Let's do this one.
Hold it!
I'm pretty sure we did this one, right? You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down there in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. Huh. Interesting. If he was out making a call, how does he know when someone arrived? He was... Wow. He was eating dinner, is what he was doing. And then someone arrived, right? Did we look at the attorney badge? I guess we didn't, right? Whoops. There's a number inscribed on the back of the badge. There are many numbers like it, but this one is mine. Proof that I am an attorney. To tell the truth, I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it. Okay. Time of the call versus time of the death, maybe? That's what I was thinking too. He didn't even say the time of the call. He only says middle of the night. That might be it though. What is considered middle of the night? I would say 2 a.m. is considered middle of the night, but let's see here. Disappear. Okay. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. Wait, let's press him on that again. 5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph, Gavin, and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was nervous about this meeting, and now we hear that they just passed in the hallway. That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be if it were all that really happened. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Hello, Cameron. How's it going? Examine the cards that might have the clues. The cards? The card backs are red. For some reason, I thought they were using blue. No. Between 1:45 and 2:15 in the morning. A cerebral hemorrhage. Does the phone show time of calls? Good idea. The freaking Nokia. That'd have been a really good idea. Can we turn that power baby on? What was the crime scene photo again? Was it he wearing a hat? How could he see the wound then? Well, he said there was blood coming from him. Is the phone time of the call versus time of the death? I think that's probably it. I just don't see any, like, because he never said anything about what time he called anybody. I mean, I feel like that is probably more likely, right? What's on the back of the phone? It is tape. Blue card is a king and not an ace. Does that mean anything? It did previously. Is this your first time playing this? Yes, this is my first time playing any of the Apollo Justice. I never played any other versions. Could be missing card by the battery compartment. Okay, we've already done this before, but in case people didn't see. Wow, the battery is being held with a piece of tape. You should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or just doesn't care. The missing card being the battery compartment of the phone. If the hat was on him, you wouldn't be able to see it. I mean, I don't know. If a hat was on him and he was like dripping blood, right? Because he said he came back to a stream of blood, right? He was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. You would be able to see that, you would think, yeah? Check the bottle. We've checked the bottle already. There's nothing about the bottle. I don't know. This is tough. We only have one decision here. I really am not sure what to press him on or what to like cross-examine him on. Let's see what this says again.
Hold it!
And when you return, the victim was already dead. Yes. Okay. I'll admit I was a little startled when I walked in. A little. He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. I mean, that's like probably the best way to do is just like maybe do him on this, present him a picture of him with a hat on. That's probably what it is, I would say. Yeah. Card in the bottle? No, card is not in the bottle. He wasn't removed until the cops took their photo. Whose fingerprints are on the bottom? Or on the bottle? I believe it's Phoenix's. Yeah. I think I might go here to here to here. I feel like Olga's photo also could be something as well. Crime photo 1. I think I might do this. I don't know what happens when you run out of bars. So if this is wrong, I guess we're gonna learn.
Objection!
Objection? Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could... We did it, by the way. I wouldn't think you could see the blood on his forehead. So I was thinking correctly. I just had to prove it was wrong. Good point. Okay, I was thinking correctly. I don't know why I was second guessing myself. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the courtroom? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. You put the hat on the dead man's head. He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why would you do something like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss O'Reilly didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head? I didn't think. No, I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Well, here we go again. Mr. Gavin. Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin, this witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason. That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police, just in case I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back to the court. Oh, crap. By the way, I watched a lot of your streams on YouTube. This is the first time you catch me live and didn't even realize I was a sub since I kept getting recommendations for your vids. Well, hey, I appreciate you. Hello. Thanks for watching the vids and all that. And thank you for subscribing too. I appreciate it. Hello. Thank you for that. Thank you for the kind words. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of a trouble. By the way, thank you WWIA for following on Twitch as well. What's this? Game not going well. Something like that. A gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good. He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please, the cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Interesting. Bone china plate. A kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to certain gentlemen's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Oh, Right. Forehead. I'm glad that this game also talks about foreheads too. Yeah. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club. Oh, certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this? Bone China Pate. Oh, that's right. Yes, that was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Oh, juicy. Yeah. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin. It come down to this, has it, Phoenix Wright? Order! I will have order in the court. Mr. Payne, yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, all right. Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. Oh, my lord. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Oh, who are you? What? Hello, sir. Please pick a card. What? What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card. The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely. The game is yours. That's all. There's blood. An ace. Where do I remember that card from? Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? Wait, who the hell was that though? Who are you? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I guess so. Who was that? I fell deep into a thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. She's the daughter. Apollo's daughter. Bloody ace. Had it. Received from a mysterious girl. Could this be the missing 5th ace? Why the hell does she have it? I don't understand. What in the world is... I am so lost. I'm so confused. Why would you just randomly show up and be like, yeah, here you go. Court will now reconvene. Defense attorney Christoph Gavin will please take the stand now. Hello. Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Will the witnesses state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
Yeah, object. Yeah. I'm gonna call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright, what do you think you're doing right? Or what do you think you're doing right? How things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore the hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh. When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Oh, God. Oh, man. Not bad, Apollo, not bad. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see a little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Oh, damn. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of the fateful night? Oh, man. That fateful night, you think? The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. Okay, all right, let's break this down. Holy hell, all right. So, you witnessed the murder. For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantaged to your client. What else can I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. I guess so. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this. The fateful night, I will press you. I rage sense in the man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club.
Hold it! Hold it!
That man, you mean Mr. Smith. He was different from the other customers. His aurora, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. So then you knew the true nature of your client's job. Of course, but I also knew he was engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know they were friends after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. I see. What happened then? I went down to the basement and peeked through the little window to the hideout.
Hold it!
The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The black marketeers used it, I believe. So why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier just to open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Mr. Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. All right, very well. Must have been right after the murder took place. Let me go back to that, sorry.
Hold it!
Hold it. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. But I was just getting to that part in my testimony. There he is. The coolest defense in the West. We know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness's stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead as he appeared in the photo.
Hold it!
We'll press him on that. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene. Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. True, I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? A bald head, an unconscious girl, and a Wright holding a bottle in his hand.
Hold it!
Those were the only 3 at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I saw, at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Objection!
Oh, all right. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice. I just said I saw no one. Not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah, yes, this mysterious 4th person who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace, right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason? I show him the evidence. Yeah. It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. The locket on the defendant's neck is the same as that of Mr. Shady. Isn't it, right? Wait, he took the locket. Well, it was the locket, yeah. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace? Wait, why did the killer take the 5th ace? Why did the killer take the 5th ace? It's a very good reason. Actually, can I look at this? Yeah. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. And then can I see the back of this? Okay, it's red. Because there's blood on it? Yeah, I see you. Wait a sec, hang on. Did that say what I think it said? It said autopsy? Oh, it said autoplay. I thought it said autopsy. I present to you a bloody ace.
Take that!
My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace? Probably. Inconceivable. How could you? Where did the blood come from? I guess from the forehead, right? Showing the victim had the card. It's a red card. It's a blood card. What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why Mr. Gavin's so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. That card, it's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. Now, his daughter came in. Yeah, right? He picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade after all. You gave your daughter a bloody ace. You fool.
Objection!
There's no way. No. Impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who would claim it was a fraud. Yes, Gavin, right? Twitchy face? Yeah, twitchy face indeed. I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the only one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Objection!
That's insane, dude. Because you gotta tell me there's blood on everything. Just the one card. Is that what you're telling me? Getting close to the answer. I agree. I agree. The evidence is non-permissible. Oh, right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime is to conceal evidence. We can discuss the finer points of our legal system. What's important now is that I've answered your question. Yeah. Card was on the floor. Very true. We're gonna have objections upon objections today. We are. How you doing, Darren? What's happening? Good to see you. Welcome in. Wright is smart, isn't he? He is. What's important now is that I've answered your questions. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene, and now I've told you that one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence. You see?
Objection!
This is baseless conjecture, baseless.
Objection!
Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. Yeah. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo. Yes. Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. Oh, wow. The murder took place in the hideout, obviously. You think the judge is sus? Out of all the favorites Let's Plays, what should I watch? Out of all Kansas favorite Let's Plays? Oh man, I don't know. I gotta have to see. Which one would I say? I can't even remember what's on my favorite Let's Play list. I like Big Ambitions. I like King of Retail. I like Palea. Palea was a lot of fun that we played as well. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones. Whatever it is, just know that if it's a playlist, it's a playlist in my favorites. All those are my favorites, but I don't know which one to watch if I had to choose one out of all of them. Yeah. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table, and before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, or the second witness? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? I'm trying to like imagine it in my head. Oh, remember, I remember you liking Dinkum. Yeah, Dinkum is good. Dinkum is good. Yeah, don't forget about Dinkum too. Dinkum, hey, if you play Dinkum, you can get my shirt in that game. Make sure to get my shirt. Oh, and Pumping Simulator too. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, don't forget about that. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little nervous. I am very nervous to pop this. There's blood. Drop of blood on a card. Whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victim, the killer, the witness, or the second witness? Any game that you have to spam the spacebar is good. That's true. That's true. I just want to make sure this is done correctly. This could be easily messed up on. Before the killer swapped a card out, there's a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Before it was like taken out. Yeah. Yeah. It's the second witness. You think it's the second witness? Have a good one, Lady Fluffy Dragon. Do take care. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Good rest of your evening, actually. If the blood ran down the back of the head of the victim, the card would have to be behind the victim on the floor or something. That's what I was thinking too. Are we thinking second witness? He's saying the blood is from before this murder. Should we relog it real quick? We'll relog it. We'll reread it. If you turn the chair to face the wall, blood. If you turn the chair to face the wall, blood could drop onto the card. Hey, FBK. How are you, FBK? If you turn the chair to face the wall, blood could drip onto the card. You might be overthinking it. Oh, crap. All right, let's reread this. I'll reread this. Let's see here. I assure you it's quite base. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo, yes. Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table, and before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. What is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? It depends if you're looking at it, right? If it's in his hand, right? It was in his hand, right? Because he was leaning backwards. Would the killer be able to see the blood? Look at this thing. Very true. The victim, if the card was on the table. I mean, the victim is out of place. This is a tough one, dude. You have an idea? Was it already established that the card was changed after the murder? It's very well, the card was picked up after the murder, right? The killer got blood on his hand when he swapped the cards. Wait, we need to establish what is out of place. Yeah, we need to establish what is out of place in this. Yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, it's good to see you. You've been lurking for the last hour. Well, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Some people said witness number 2. Some people said witness number 2. Man. Let me go a little bit farther back too. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look. Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. The victim is out of place. It's the victim, right? If he was holding the cards and his head is back, wouldn't the blood go back? Or am I looking at this wrong? You think the blood would go back, not forward? Maybe? Did Wright not say he took the card, gave it to his daughter? I think you have something there. Was the 5th card under his hat? It was a suicide? What the frick? So it's the victim. So you would have to be facing the wall. Who has to be facing the wall? The victim would have to be facing the wall, right? Because then if you're facing the wall... Wait, why would you have to be facing the wall? Why would you have to be facing the wall? The victim wasn't facing the table when he was attacked. Okay, that makes more sense. Right? I think that makes sense. So it's the victim that's out of place. Witness 2 doesn't matter. I feel like witness 2 doesn't matter. Witness 1 doesn't matter. Killer maybe matters, but no, it's the victim, dude. Right?
Take that!
Take that, sucker. Well, isn't it the victim's positioning that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him? Ah, take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Yeah. Hey, Cooling Gamers, how you doing? What's going on? Good to see you. Why, that's right. So what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs. Oh, man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. I don't think it's a... No. It's swivel chairs? Wait, what? What do you mean try recreate? Recreate the crime scene? No, I'd rather not. Recreate the crime scene? There you go, I guess. He's facing that? The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be. I guess so. So we have to assume that at the time, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. Yeah. But there's like a closet right there. Okay. Yeah. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in the photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Ah, Christoph. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims? The killers? The witnesses? Or the second witness? Wait a sec, what? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim is facing away? It would be the killer, right? I think it's the killer. Right? Was there someone hiding in the closet? Well, this is like a black marketer's window. That's where what's his face was. Blonde haired Gavin. The killer contradicts it. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, he 100% does.
Take that!
Take that. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it would be quite hard, yes? Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? Now, let's be clear here. The autopsy says nothing about a laceration. The autopsy only says trauma. Nothing about blood, nothing about being cut open or anything. So I think everybody's full of shit. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of the game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing by? But there's no room to put a marker where the killer should be. Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike? I mean, the killer would have to be like standing like right in front of him, or at least there, right? Yeah, like right there. Well, it can't be standing on the closet now, can you? But you would have to be standing at least right there. Right?
Take that!
Or in the closet. Yeah, well, I guess the killer would have to be here. Oh shit. Anything to say, Mr. Justice? Sorry. A little late for that. I'm afraid penalty. It was the closet. It was exactly on the object. Oh my god. That's my bad. Yeah, I guess that makes sense if someone was hiding in the closet. That's enough. I see no need to further prolong this trial. The defense case is insufficient to overturn the prosecution's claims. This court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright, guilty. The defendant will surrender himself to the court's care to undergo a regular trial at the High Court within a month's time. Court is adjourned. Honestly, you should be guilty after that frickin' circus act. Yeah, retry it from the scene. Let's do that. Retry it from the scene. Is it the full scene? How far back does it go? Try not to overthink things, Apollo. What does your instinct tell you? We know the victim was facing toward the wall all this time. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Yes. Yes. In the closet. There we go.
Take that!
The killer would have to be standing, well, here. You get points for flair, but that's about all you get. I thought I was onto something there too. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Okay, so it's a cupboard, not a closet. I thought it was a closet. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at that very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. Oh! shoot. Nice. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right? Mr. Gavin, Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. He should arrange to examine the cupboards in the hideout immediately. Oh, very good. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. We have to have those cupboards checked. Have them try to move the cupboards. Your Honor, what? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. Good job. Nice. Covered it. We sniffed out the cupboards. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means, Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Is there like a secret door or something? Ah, thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem, but then it covers that window, right? It does cover the window. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. I don't know, dude. This is crazy. Now everything in this place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. I guess so. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point out the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about? It would be the second witness.
Take that!
Take that. Yep. Are we okay with all assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What? What did you say? Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin, and someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, this is all reaching so hard. I have to say, reaching so hard. Perhaps you'd like to explain the court. Exactly. Where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law, and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh, and what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What? Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something of that sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now, or saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings. You never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? Oh, I knew it was a secret room. The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. Who is the freaking killer, man? You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something. Where's the girl at? Where's O'Reilly at? Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we could probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There, he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Nice. Why did you do that? Wait here. I'll get help. Miss Olga was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Ah, I see. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled the chair around to look and bam! After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Why did the daughter have the card? Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red. Get smoked, Gavin. You're a bad man. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Ah! Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin, but I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Objection!
No need to apologize. I'd rather enjoy myself. I beg your pardon? It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin. Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me, the defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence?
Objection!
It's because it wasn't submitted. Let me ask you, it wasn't submitted to the court. Is that what it is? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right? Actually, yeah. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court in this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold the bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle, yes. Well, Your Honor. See how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo. Yes. Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation just like that. Yeah, sure. Just like what? Why would anyone grab
Cartemples became a member.
Carter, thank you for becoming a member. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Big ups to you. How are you? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said that the court, in this case, demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? Oh, crap. How he picked up the bottles from the crate? What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? Yeah, he reached over and grabbed one. He reached over and grabbed one. I agree.
Take that!
Take that! It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place the bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yeah. Now reach down and pick it up without getting out of your chair. Ah. There you go. See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck with your fingers upside down. Oh, muttering in the courtroom. Look at that. This photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here playing piano. Bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow, I can't believe it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph? I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. Oh, so you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like that was the murder weapon. Wow, this is very elaborate. This is incredible. This is crazy. Order! What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? I think everyone still thinks he's quite handsome. Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. Is that what that said? I don't know if that's what that said. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Proof? Well, as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
Objection!
Objection? I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes, I do. I have your memo about it here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bull Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that but his. Mr. Gavin's probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake. True, but that bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes. Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me, will you, Mr. Wright? That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. There's a card in it. There it is. There's the trump card right there. There's something inside the bottle. We found it. We found the trump card. The 5 of hearts. What's this? That card. It can't be. Recall the unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga. Yes, our little swindling Dvochka. Nice. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one mentioned in the piece of this testimony. I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it, found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. Yeah, dude. Sick. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Other, you know, also known as Daddy. Ah! He is the Force. Right. That is all. That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little... titties. Right. This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? No. He said titties. Order. I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He submitted everything. We're processing his arrest right now. I see, still. One has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? Not that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith, his occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession, to be sure, but that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good, Mr. Wright. Yes? 7 years and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and as a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me. This is a dark time for our legal system, a twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright, our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, innocent, not guilty. Court is adjourned. .420, 428. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gav, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yeah. A sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? What? What was that? Mr. Wright? You have to find the answer to the question yourself. The answer, right. Today was full of questions without answers at all, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket, oh, right, is the key. Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. She was wearing a blue outfit, not a red one, but yeah. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testified. You said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. Guess so. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside of it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. Wow. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices, after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo? Yes? How about coming to work for me? Oh, you mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but wait. But didn't you... you're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. Huh. Wow. An incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm, well, not qualified to stand in court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial, there was a single piece of forged evidence? Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. Jesus, what? One piece of evidence struck me as odd. It's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I bet this was the forged evidence. This one. Autopsy report, yeah?
Take that!
Or maybe you didn't notice. Guess that wasn't it. No matter, I'll tell you. Oh. The bloody ace. No matter, I'll tell you. It was this. Wait, what? How do you forge that? The card that girl gave me. Frankly, this couldn't have been found at the scene of the crime. What? Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It is fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Oh, dude. That's crazy. My mind is blown. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really? Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. Well, honestly, it wasn't even accepted in as evidence either. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney? Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Wow. I punched him. Oh, right. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut? Try yelling, "Take that!" next time I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. What the heck? And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. The end. Wow. That was insane. We will save that, obviously. Was that all one episode? That was one episode? That is incredible. That is awesome. But guess what? That is the 3-hour mark. We're actually well over our 3-hour mark here. That's going to do it in today's stream of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, the trilogy. If you haven't and you are interested in this game, go pick it up for yourself. Add it to your wish list, all that. I think it's on all platforms. The trilogy seems really cool. It is all 3 of the games. I have not ever played any of the games before. Never played any of them. And I felt like this right here, having this trilogy collection was a good way to start it and everything like that. And this game has a lot of cool things about it. Indeed. And it makes me just kind of think like all the other episodes, how more crazier and in-depth can those get. I really enjoyed this a lot. So make sure to hit the like button if you want me to come back to this game. I'll most gladly bring it back and we can do the next episode and so on and so forth. Thank you very much for the members today and for people subscribing on YouTube here. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you for the people that followed on Twitch as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all. We will be probably streaming here again here shortly in the next 30 minutes to an hour. We're gonna be playing another game, so stay tuned and I will see you all very soon. And do as always, you know, like, take care. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter and all that good stuff. All right, yeah, take care.